Okay, so we're going to go over how to perform statistical analysis on your data using Google Sheets. I have inputted a bunch of fictitious data into the sheet and set up a bunch of column headers, and I've just typed in numbers and words and highlighted the colors of the column headers. So now we're going to input some functions. So we're going to start by calculating the minimum. We're going to insert a function. We can use this icon on the toolbar. It also can be found under Insert, Function. Okay. Commonly used ones are right here. We're going to insert the function for minimum. And you can see in the cell it says equals min parentheses. Inside the parentheses is the data that you want to perform the function on. We're going to put it in there by left-clicking, holding and dragging, and that puts in cell A2 to A21. Now we hit enter, and it calculates that function for us. That's the minimum in the data set. Now we're going to calculate the maximum. Okay, so I'm going to insert the function for max, have equals max parentheses. I'm going to select my data, left click, hold and drag, release, press enter. Okay, that's my maximum. And we're going to set up quartiles for the purpose of a box and whisker plot. So remember, we divide the data by the median, and then to further divide that into first, second, third, and maximum quartiles. So we place our cursor in the cell where we want the output to appear. And for this function, we're going to have to find it under statistical. And this is going to be alphabetical. So we're going to scroll down and find quartile. So we have equals quartile parentheses. We select our data, but now we must insert a comma. Comma 1, the 1 is for first quartile. And I press enter. That's my first quartile. Third quartile. Okay, going to insert that function again, found under statistical. In parentheses, we're going to select the data range and put comma 3 for third quartile. Okay, now I have everything that Google Sheets requires to insert the box and whisker plot, and that is 5 columns. I'm going to select and highlight these 5 columns. The first one must be text, and the other 4 must be numbers, numerical. So I'm going to go here to insert a chart. And by default, it's going to select column chart, but I'm going to scroll down. In Excel, it calls a box and whisker chart a candlestick chart. So I have to select candlestick. And I can take this and move it down a little bit. Since I already correctly selected the 5 columns that it needs, it's put the chart in for me. And if you want to customize the colors and so forth, you can do that by clicking these 3 dots. Okay. So we're also going to calculate the mean, the median, the mode, and the range. Okay. For the mean, remember that's the same thing as average. So we're going to insert the function for average. Select our data. Median is the middle of the data set. We're going to find that under statistical. There's the median. Okay. And now let's do the range. Okay. Up until now, we have been inserting functions that are built into Sheets, but you can also type in any custom function that you want. So for range, let's do a custom function. We click on the cell where we want the output to appear, and the first thing we type is equals. And now we just type the mathematical function that we want it to perform. So we want the range is the maximum minus the minimum. So we're going to take the maximum, click this cell. So we have G3 minus, we click this cell, G3 minus D3, and I press enter, and it has executed the function that I typed in. Okay. So the last thing is mode, and this is any number that repeats or appears more than others in the data set. It could be single modal, it could have a single mode, or it could be multimodal. And there's functions for both of those. So if we look under statistical and find mode, this is for multi-mode and this is for single mode. Okay. Something that is helpful is if you can look at your data sorted least to greatest to kind of give you an idea of what modes you may have. So if I take my data right here and I just select it all, I can go to data and hit sort range. And A to Z means sort it from least to greatest. Okay. So now I can see the minimum going all the way up to the maximum. And I can see the modes now. I can see 59, 60, 61, 62. So I can, since it's a small data set, I can just glance at it and I can see what the mode is. Okay, so we're going to put in single mode, select the data set. Our mode is 60. Okay, you can use single or multi depending on what your data looks like. Okay. The last thing we're going to put in is a histogram. We've been talking about box plots, box and whisker plots. These are used for comparing a single variable. A histogram is a frequency chart, okay, that tells you where your data appears the most. Okay, so we're going to insert this chart. We're going to change it from column to histogram right here. And then where it says data range, we're going to click this, select data range. And then we're going to simply left click, hold and drag, hit OK. All right, so now we need to move this over a little bit. And this is a frequency chart. Okay, it can tell you how many throws fell into each category. So I can see the majority of the throws were between 58 and 62 feet. Okay, so both of these charts, this one helps you compare a single variable. This one helps you see where your data is concentrated. Okay, so box and whisker versus histogram. And when you have a very large data set, a histogram is preferred, but if you have a small data set, then a dot plot is preferred, which is also a frequency chart, but it just shows individual dots for each data point. Okay. And this is what your spreadsheet should look like when you turn it into Canvas. Your data, min, first quartile, third quartile, maximum, mean, median, mode, and range, a box and whisker plot, and a histogram.